It's Mark, and it's time for a brand new live show. And tonight we're going to talk about first we're going to talk about our website. And now, first off, if you guys have been visiting the fan page, I put a lot of really cool stuff on here where I try to. If I find any really newsworthy stuff, if you guys recall, many years back, I used to post my news directly on the website, but I found that people pretty much stick around Facebook, and so I kind of moved everything there, just because that's where the people were. And so there's also other news sites as well. And hey, Jason and Mark, how are you guys doing? And Janet as well. Um, so anyway, so the news has been I try to update it on here, and so there's some good stuff. There's some videos as well associated with these, and Scott DeRoss's Vimeo animation reel for 2015. He's actually a member of our site, but I just plopped that on there. It's really cool. Actually, some of his animation is really fluid and inspiring. So also this article here goes into what goes into a stop motion film, and it's called Adventure Times Kirsten Lepore on the Joys and Pains of Stop Motion Animation, and it's really interesting. So if you guys haven't been on there, check it out. And to find it, if you guys don't already know, it's just put in animateclay.com fan page at the top, and it should hopefully show up. Now, earlier in the week, I posted a news piece, if you want to call it that, just a repost, I guess, of this film called Rebel Scum. And if you guys have ever watched Empire Strikes Back, or Return of the Jedi, or Star Wars, as in the very original trilogy, George Lucas pretty much embraced stop motion back then, and so a couple of filmmakers went ahead and made a new fan film based on sort of how they did it in the old days with stop motion. But we'll talk about that in a minute. I got that lined up for tonight to talk about. But first, our website has some really cool stuff being posted on here. And this is a new technique, if you guys haven't watched it, on making molds. And it's just a simple 2-part mold. And Gabriel posted this. And if you guys haven't watched it, I'm not going to show it. You'll have to go on there and look yourself. But it's a really unique technique that he did to create the seam line in the center of the two hands. And what's cool about it is that it's fairly easy and will give you really good results. So and also Zakira posted a film called Edward Elric Doesn't Like Milk, and it's I believe in 2 different languages as well, which is kind of interesting. So 2 different 2 edits. What else? So Claymara, I know Claymara. I don't know if she's here. She actually moved to her new studio, and is setting up some all of her supplies and equipment there. So I'm not sure if we're gonna see Claymara here in our live shows or not, but she's always making all these really great contributions and so forth. And her new studio is Studio Kiki. So she's always making some cool stuff. And yeah, so just check out the site. Lots of people are posting things. Just a lot of fun. And it seems like people are not having a hard time posting on the newly updated site, because I updated all this backend stuff, and so far there's been no complaints. So I don't think there's any bugs in the site, which is good. And so also, this is the last week you guys have, if anybody is making the new working on the new challenge. And the new challenge ends on January 27th. So I guess that's next week. Will be if anybody posts anything, which hopefully people will. We will check out all the entries, and we will vote for the winner during the live show. Whoever has the most votes by the audience will be the winner, and they will also get to pick the next challenge topic. There's also a prize as well, so it depends on if you guys already have these or not. A lot of people have already bought these, but you will get a free, let me see here. Let's see. So did I post it on here? I think I did, didn't I? Yeah, prizes. So each month challengers win and can pick any of our video tutorial downloads from our store. So if you guys are interested or not, we do have video tutorials in our store, and it's on how to build sets and puppets and how to make armatures the old-fashioned way, as well as how to sculpt puppets and smoothing techniques and replacement mouths, and this one on sculpting hair, which I did a while back, just to kind of show people how to make a special. You can make your own tools on how to do that. And so that's the prize, and you get to pick whatever you want. And also, if you want to download our ebook for free, $20 value, so you get that for free if you win the challenge. So like I say, most people I think have probably bought these already that visit here most often, but it's free for anybody that wins the challenge. So pretty cool, I think. At least I hope, anyway. So let's see here. What are you guys talking about? Oh, okay. So you're having Jason is saying that he finds it hard to make a comment sometimes on the site. And some things you cannot comment on. Let's see if my site will load now. Kind of the bandwidth is not so good lately for some reason with our website, but see if I can reload it. But yeah, a lot of people have mentioned this, and so for example, if you want to comment on Gabriel here, he added a new video on molding hands. So if you want to make a comment, what you need to do is go down here, and you can see the area to comment. So you can say, hello, this is a comment, and then you press enter, and it will just post it. So that's how I do it. But I believe other things like there are times, I believe, when you can't. So for example, if somebody's a friend with somebody else, so Kuroji is friends with Sean Bloom, so you can't comment on that, unfortunately. Not sure if you'd really want to, but you can't. Seems like, okay, so Claymara, if somebody likes something, you can't comment also. But you can comment on the video itself. So I believe if I click this, which is Randy's video, and no, it's not wanting to work for me right now. Why is that? Yep. Alright, let's click on the link. But you can comment on videos. So for example, I can scroll down and put a comment here. So this is a comment. And then again, you just press enter. So you don't have a comment box. Under Gabriel, really? Okay, I don't know why that would be. Could be possibly that, is it in this area? Is it far down under my comment? Or you don't have a comment area here? Because there shouldn't be here. It should be at the bottom. Oops. So Hoser Lou says, I never really introduced myself. I'm Larry. I've been following these for close to a year now, learning lots. Cool. Well, welcome to the show. That's awesome. And Mark of the Dark says that dinging sound on our site sounds like a toaster oven. It kind of does. Yes, it just warns you if you have anybody who's messaging you or somebody logs in. And yeah, so anyways, Jason, I'm not really sure what to say about that. I don't know why you wouldn't have a comment box. maybe try another browser. Maybe if you're using Chrome or Internet Explorer, try Firefox. That's what I'm using. I don't know if it would make a difference or not, but it might. I know that I use Chrome for Tinkercad. So this is Tinkercad, and yeah, I don't know why half of it is missing on the side here when I change screens. Let me do this. I'm going to refresh this. Chrome is the only place that I can use Tinkercad on. So if you guys ever design stuff in 3D for any reason, I don't know if any of you guys have a 3D printer, but this is, yeah, I'm trying to show you how good it works, and it's locked up. Alright, well, I'm going to kill it. I'm going to kill you. Alright. Let me reload. I don't know. Even Chrome is acting funny lately. I don't know what's going on with this thing here, but certain browsers will not work with certain scripts, like JavaScript and things like that. It depends on your settings, and also I have some plugins for Firefox that make it more secure, and that might be the problem as well. So yeah, I hope you guys aren't all having the same problem. That would stink. And so Janet says, I found this site a week ago, so I must sign up. Sure, feel free. And Ron Cole says he wishes he could post more, but he's always working on stuff for other people, and so can't show stuff without permission after the project is completed. Yeah. That's same with me sometimes. Alright, so anyway, that is news about the site and also our Facebook page. And you guys are really posting a lot, so it's kind of fun to go in there. But now, back to Rebel Scum. And this project I thought was kind of interesting. Actually, I found out that these three brothers, I want to read this to you guys. They're just making a fan film, and for nostalgia purposes, I guess, because they like Star Wars and they want to make more films based on it for fun. And so let me see here. So the three brothers are Timothy Nguyen and Paul Nguyen, as well as Daniel Nguyen, I believe you say, and they call themselves the Nguyen brothers. And it says they have been passionate filmmakers their entire lives. They come from a unique background: a grandfather who served as a North Vietnamese general during the Vietnam War, a fugitive father fleeing from Eastern Europe during the Warsaw Pact, and a missionary mother rescuing Cambodian refugees from the Khmer Rouge. The brothers grew up on the road, from the Arctic wastelands of Greenland and Iceland to spending years in dense jungles all over Southeast Asia. Living an adventurous life has given them a passion for powerful narratives from people of many walks of life. So I thought it was kind of interesting that these guys have won all these awards for different films they've made, and their background is just so unique and interesting. And so they created this film called Rebel Scum. I'm not going to watch the whole film or anything, but we're going to watch the behind the scenes, because there's some interesting aspects to how they made the sets for their stop motion puppets and how they lit them. And so it's a really cool film. And if you guys want to watch the actual film itself, they have, this is of course just a gallery, and they've got all the characters and so forth, and it takes place on Hoth. So if you guys remember Empire Strikes Back, they had the big battle with the adepts there, and all that good stuff. And to find this website, you want to go to www.bloodbrothercinema.com, and there's no spaces or dashes or anything like that, just bloodbrothercinema.com. And this is the behind the scenes video, which is about almost 5 minutes long. And we're going to watch this. It's really cool. So let's get started.
Hey guys, my name is Tim and I'm the director of Rebel Scum. Just wanted to give you guys a quick production update on how things are going. Right now, we are entrenched in post-production, and what that means is we're working on the stop-motion animation sequences. We really wanted to capture the classic feeling of the original trilogy, and so it's that's like miniatures, that's like stop-motion stuff. It's going to be great. That does take time, so it's kind of pushed us back a little bit, but that's okay because we're really happy with how the film's coming along. And yeah, we just wanted to show our gratitude and just thank you guys all for your support, the amazing Star Wars community that has just embraced this project and said so many great things about it already. So we're excited to share it with you guys. And in the meantime, we have some behind the scenes shots for you guys to check out so you guys can see how things have come along from the beginning till now. Thanks for being with us, and may the Force be with you. So here we are. We arrived at Hawk. This is our snow camp. Very expensive piece of equipment. It's a thermal housing designed to withstand sub-zero temperatures. This is our lead actress, Anastasia Moody. You can see she brought the most important piece of equipment, TP. It was such a burden for her to carry. That's why she's sitting down exhausted. And over here we have our rebel pilot, Andre, and ready to take on the entire Empire. Yeah, so catch up with you sometime after the first shot, or maybe it'll be at the end of the day. So like.
A rear screen projection material, like 3M material, to project the scene that they had previously filmed behind the puppet and above and on the sides. So I don't know if the colors would match super precise, but when I watched the film, you know, it looked pretty decent, pretty good. And yeah, so Ron is saying, beautiful probe droid model. I wonder if they built it or if there's a kit out there. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure there's a kit though. But in terms of, is it a stop motion kit? That's another question. Let's see here. It might even be a toy or something like that. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like this might be it. Looks like this exact one, and it's a... Let me bring it up for you guys. So you can see the base here, which it looks like they use this exact model because the base is the same. And it's a Sideshow Collectibles toy. And I imagine it, maybe it's articulate. Maybe there's some points that it can move. The droid stands at 18 inches tall and comes with a specialized figure base. The Imperial probe droid will also come with built-in sound effects. Pre-orders go live this Thursday at a price of $249.99. So very expensive. And wow, it looks great though. I mean, it's really a very pretty looking toy. Wow. So yeah, it's got posable limbs, light up eyes, and movable antennas. So yeah, you can animate it just like a regular stop motion puppet. That's great. That's very nice. That's awesome. So it's a 6 scale figure, 18 inches tall, and here's a close-up. Really neat. And I imagine it's a lot harder to recreate this than it was to make the original from the Empire film, because you know they could just take parts from model kits or whatever and slap it together, make it look nice. And to recreate it is, you have to figure out how they actually built it and what shapes were used and what textures and even where all these little holes are for rivets and stuff like that. So that's really amazing. And looks like they really put a lot of work into even putting the right scratches in there, all kinds of weathering and everything. That's really cool. So that's I'm pretty sure that's what they used. Really nice. But $250. Would you guys pay $250 for that? I mean, I would if I had, the spare money just to have it on my shelf, but wow, it's expensive. But it looks great. So anyways, pretty neat. So bloodbrotherscinema.com is where you can see that, the film. And it's, it's not like it's a small budget film, so the plot is very short. But I really enjoyed it. And I don't know if they actually shot the original film in the same location in Canada, but it really looks similar to Hoth, in Empire. Yeah, it's not really slapped together. Right? Yeah, that's a good point. A lot of care went into piecing those parts together, but a lot of times you hear stories where they kind of make something like the original Yoda sculpture from Stuart Freeborn from Empire Strikes Back. People thought that he put a lot of time into that, and he said basically he just did it really quickly, and George Lucas was going to review it, and he did, and to his surprise George Lucas thought it was awesome, and Stuart Freeborn always thought it was kind of crazy how George Lucas liked the design of Yoda. But anyway, pretty neat. And they've got this website, which they've got other films. I'm not really sure if they've used stop motion on any of their other projects. Titanica, Life and Death on Titan. I mean, this stuff seems really neat. I mean, it looks really fun. And, you know, maybe I wish they had all their pictures here that I could scroll through. Give me some clues, but it doesn't. Relentless 2013 as well. So I'm gonna have to look around and see if there's any other films with stop motion. All right. So anyways, there you have it. So what else now? We've got about a half hour left. And so for tonight, I think for the rest of the show, I want to just talk about materials to build sets. And there's a reason why. And last week, I got a phone call from a teacher, and he wanted to buy like 8 stages for his class, which are animation supply stages from our store, and they don't have any kind of legs on them or anything like that. And he was curious, what to do. Like, I have these, stages, and how do I put legs on them? Like, how do you animate with them? And to me, it just seemed, for me, it seems like common sense. So you get some 2x4s, you screw them on there, and you're good to go. It seems like. But of course, it's not that simple, and there's a lot to it. And so I kind of explained to him a little bit about, what I would do. And there's different ways to. We're just going to start off with the basics here. How you set up your set. And for those who don't know, I'm going to see if I can find a picture here from Aardman. And maybe I've got a picture that I can show. For example, we've got Nick Park here, and this is from The Wrong Trousers. Very famous stop-motion film. And Nick Park was very hands-on early on when he got a job at Aardman Animations, and his style really stuck. Everybody sort of enjoyed it and found it whimsical, and it was easy to use that style and transfer it to other types of characters. And so here's a set that he's on, and you can see it's made from wood and what do you call it, slats maybe, or some kind of strips that are laid down, and they're glued or nailed to something. But the problem is, when you look at stop motion films, you don't ever see what's underneath there. So a lot of people are curious about that, and I don't think I have any pictures here to show though. Maybe what I could do, let me do this. I can find, let's see. Google image search is the easiest way to find stuff. So I'm going to open that up here and see if I can find a picture. Come on. Alright, there's lots of pictures. This is a good one. Actually, this one here is fairly clear, but this one is really good. So let me open this up for you guys. Okay, so this is how Aardman supports all their sets, or at least the ones that I've ever seen. Maybe in the past they didn't do it this way. So you can see here we have some sort of like aardvarks or something. I'm not sure what these characters are. And so they got their camera set up, and you can see the walls, and you can see the floor. It looks like wood. Then they've got some metal bar up top here to attach a rig. Rig seems to be holding up a puppet. So, of course, you would think, whatever is underneath there, it has to not only support all of this wood and all of these pieces, the walls and the rig, perhaps also, but you have the puppets. You have very small props, and you also have it looks like a little clock or something, and a picture. And if you were to bump this set, you might ruin a really complicated shot. You might knock off this little plant on here, your chair might shift, or perhaps the rig might fall off or something and pull your puppet with it. So whatever's underneath there is really super important. And what Aardman does is they take these metal pipes and they make a little they use make them out of uh, just regular ordinary water pipes. They put them together with these little clamps, and they look like hose clamps. Let's see if I can get this bigger. There we go. And it's extremely solid. You can see it's so super sturdy, right? And one of the things that you can do is you can use 2x4s to essentially do the same thing. If you lived, let's say, in Asia, you could use bamboo. You could use PVC, which is not as sturdy, but you can use PVC pipes as well if they're really big and heavy. You can use almost anything, but the base of your set is like building a house. The foundation has to be very strong. And you really want to make it so that pretty much you can kick it and it won't even budge. Now, if you don't have access to a lot of materials, there's other ways to do it where you can actually use a real table. So if you have a heavy table, for example, like a kitchen table, and it's made of all wood, you could use that as your base to put your set on top of. So other things to think about, like the Aardman has in their design as well, is tying your puppets down. And one of the things that they do, you'll notice, is although they use like a plywood frame, they cut these holes out inside of them, and that's to put your arms inside. And so if you can't get your arms underneath there, you can't have access to your tie downs. So making your set out of something that can be modified easily, like wood, is good. You could also use acrylic, which is used a lot for structural projects, but that might be expensive, but you can do that. You can use MDF as well, which is a medium density fiberboard, which is a lot cheaper, probably a cheaper option, and it's pretty sturdy. It's really strong. You can get it in like 3/4 inch or 1/2 inch thick. So there's just a lot of ways to do it, and I always tell people that it just kind of, like, if you're going to build a set, it kind of depends on what materials you have available. Now, Ron is saying, wood is dangerous as a platform because it can warp overnight, and so if you need to continue a shot the next day, the set may shift in the frame and it becomes difficult to adjust for the shift. Yep, yeah, it can be. It depends, though, on how heavy the wood is. If it's a really super heavy wood, or if you have, let's say, many 2x4s nailed together to make a big, log of a piece of wood, it's pretty safe. It's not going to warp that much, really. But you're right. If you have the option to choose plastic, wood, or metal, metal is the best choice. Absolutely. And if you're going to use wood or PVC, these little cross beams that they have underneath here, this is like, looks like a huge mess, but if you just make a basic frame, and you put cross beams in there, you can hang heavy objects off of them and make it even sturdier. So any potential shifting or anything like that you're worried about can be offset by just sheer mass. So if you're a clay animator, you usually have a lot of clay, so you could put a bucket under there and put 50 pounds of clay under your set, and it's gonna be hard to budget for sure. So Jason says, with my limited experience, I can't imagine going to bed halfway through a shot. Yeah. Well, Ray Harryhausen did that a lot, from what I understand. He would actually sleep he'd put a little futon next to his animation table and sleep there, and then wake up and get back into animating where he left off. So yeah, it can be tedious for sure. So Aardman, they use metal a lot, I notice, in their sets, and it's a very sturdy way to do things. Let me see if I can. Okay, so this is their Pirates film, right? So you can see it's a huge set and consists of several buildings. 1, 2, 3, 4. So like 8 buildings, and we have a little pier and a dock, and so let me zoom in. So very heavy sets, right? We have each set must weigh in around plus or minus 10 pounds, but probably somewhere around 50 pounds, I would say. So then we have all of this material, which could be some sort of styrofoam shaped and plastered over. We have puppets. We have lots of props and things that could potentially shift, like doors and everything. So their base has to really be sturdy, and that's really the most important part. You don't see it, but there's just tons and tons of metal under there holding it up. So those are just water pipes and fittings that go together, and they're cut, and yeah, that's basically it. So these guys were working very hard, obviously. I don't know their names, but you can see their work table here, and maybe they were working there for how many months just to build all this. Looks great too. So anyway, what else about sets we could talk about? We got about 20 more minutes left. So Jason says, I bumped the camera once, and that was an hour lost. Yeah. Yeah, one of the things you can do with that I've seen done at John Lemon Films was Mike Rosinski used to take hot glue, and when he set his camera up, he would hot glue the tripod to the floor. And the hot glue, some hot glues are more permanent than others, but the kind that he had, there were like these little rubber grommet things on the feet of the tripod that you could adjust, and he would glue these things down to the floor that was concrete. So he wasn't worried about ripping up a carpet or anything when he removed it. So he would just take and either kick the tripod legs and it would snap off. But you had to do it really hard. So hot glue works pretty good if you have a concrete floor. So if you're worried about bumping your camera. Also, like I said before, with the sets, you can hang things off of your camera tripod. So if you have a tripod that's made from metal, you're safe. But if you have one of these sort of really flimsy camera tripods that are made from plastic or really lightweight aluminum, sometimes they're too flimsy for this trick, but you can just take like a bucket or a plastic shopping bag and hang it off the side of your tripod straight down, and take your clay, some spare clay or wood or a paint can filled with paint, and just hang it off there, and that makes it really sturdy, or at least much more sturdier than if it was just a plain old tripod with no weight on it. And Jason also asked that what is the main construction material? Balsa wood, he's asking. If you're referring to this here, that it's behind the scenes from the Pirates film at Aardman, I would imagine they probably do. Yeah, they probably use balsa wood, probably basswood for all of these set pieces here, like the roofing material or the beams. Probably all kinds of woods that you would just use for craft purposes that you can get in like a craft store or Hobby Lobby or Michael's or whatever. So let's see. So Dave says, I've only done 2 or 3 multi-day shots. Frame grabbers help. First one I did was in the 90s, so no frame grabbers. Ooh, that's a risky thing to do. No frame grabbers. Yep. Well, I remember those days too. I remember doing a split screen shot or a double exposed shot on my 16 millimeter Kodak Cine Special, and you pay so much money for the film and for the lab processing fees, and when I had to rewind that film, I rewound it inside that Kodak Cine Special, and I was counting the frames, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and amazingly it worked. But wow, it's so risky to do that. I mean, I think today with technology, I don't think most people would even attempt that. I think people would be too scared. It's like the limitations forced you to do those things, but so Dave says no balsa wood too flimsy. Yeah, I don't know what he's referring to. If it's just like these set pieces, yeah, it's okay. But if you're gonna make a wooden base for all this, yeah, you wouldn't use balsa wood. You would, yeah, and Ron Coles is even saying balsa wood's too expensive. Sticky Bones campaign. I haven't looked at that in a while. I did cover that the other week. It's succeeding, I guess. That's cool. Let's see. Yeah, let me do a quick search for it. Here we go. Sticky Bone campaign. Stickybones.com. Indiegogo. Okay, here we go. Well, that's great. $141,000 for Sticky Bones. Wow. Cool. I didn't realize that. That's awesome. So let's see. Yeah, we talked about this, and looks like they're sold out of most of their perks too, or at least the first 2. Yeah, so if you guys haven't watched my previous live show where we talked about these, Sticky Bones is for artists who need something to pose for drawing. It's also for animators potentially, stop motion animators. There's magnets in the feet as well as posable hands and wrists and all kinds of parts. And you can see here where they've done some simple animation. So it's really cool. And this is on Indiegogo. It's called Sticky Bones, Rapid Posing and Animation Made Easy. And let's see their updates. See if there's anything new I can show you guys. From 2 days ago, it says, thank you. We just made our entire Indiegogo goal during the first 9.5 hours of the pre-launch. We are just speechless. We are floored, and our dog Rosie probably thinks we're crazy for all the celebrating that is occurring. All of your support, both by contributions to the Sticky Bones Indiegogo campaign, and also by encouraging comments and feedback, is amazing. We are so grateful. We will continue to push forward with Sticky Bones with as much and even more enthusiasm and effort as ever before to get Sticky Bones manufactured and out to you all. We have some great stretch goals that we're developing, and we'll keep you posted. Cool. So it looks like if you donate a lot, you get a lot of Sticky Bones. 5 Sticky Bones and 5 free pose plates for $400. That's cool. Very awesome. Very neat. And so when was this? This was 1 day ago. They were trending, and it says they were #1 on Indiegogo's Explore page. and there's 45 more days left, so 44, I guess. So that's cool. So it looks like they're going to be millionaires in about another week. That's great. I mean, what does that say about stop motion? I don't think stop motion is dead. What do you guys think? So Ron says he ordered one and he's really looking forward to getting one. And he says, I mentioned to them that I'll be adding holes for flying rigs, but they replied to me and said that they're playing with adding that. Cool. Very awesome. Very cool. Got about 1,364 backers. That's neat. Very cool. All right. Well, what else, guys? We have about 15 more minutes. Anybody else want to suggest any topics? Feel free. Otherwise, I'm going to continue with talking about sets and building them and what's involved. Let's see here. See if we get any other good shots that I can show. Here's another one. Oh, but it's small. Alright. But, yeah, I mean, anyone who makes a stop motion film pretty much has to face building sets. And maybe we can discuss materials. And what would be a good one to look at for that? Well, see this one here. Make it big. And so here's a really detailed picture of a pirate ship. And I love pirate ships, and I think everybody does, don't they? But probably a lot of different materials were used here. And let's see here. So Janet says I can use Ever After High Doll for my first stop motion video, or better, real puppets. I was never made was never made any video, but I want to try. Yeah, well, you could use toys, you could use puppets. You know, there's just so many things you can animate. Sticky Bones is a really cool one. There's armature kits that like we sell. There's just plain old wire. You could use wire to make a puppet. Yeah, I mean, we could probably talk about that some more. You know, what's a good way to make a puppet? Some of the different ways. I've got tons of pictures, so you know, obviously this is animateclay.com, so I'm kind of partial to making puppets from clay. But it's really, you know, clay is not the most practical way of making puppets. But you can see here, obviously, Wallace and Gromit are made from clay. And but there's so many different kinds of techniques. And so you probably already know about the clay techniques. So let me see if I can show you some other types. Now, I will bring up Mighty Joe Young as one puppet making technique, because this is, you know, this was made in the 1940s maybe. Oh, and Ron Cole says that Mad God Part 2 just came out. That's cool. I didn't realize that. Yeah, Phil Tippett. Poor Phil Tippett. I almost feel bad for him after watching that Vice News piece about him. That short documentary. You know, I feel kind of bad. Like, he's just not a happy dude. Seems very unhappy. You know, that's what came across. And he's so talented. But puppet building is something that I think this technique is probably one of the techniques that is used in Mad God, actually, and it is the build-up method. And you can use ball and socket armatures or wire. And I'm trying to think if I can show even something about wire armatures, like just a simple one, so you guys can. It's such a huge topic. But this would be, you know, out of most people's ranges. This is a hand machined armature by Jeff Taylor, and it's all aluminum. And this is something which would be the skeleton. And the skeleton is the most important part of your puppet because it holds up everything and allows you to animate it and to pose it. So there's that option. And let me see, maybe I've got some pictures of my own that I can show with wire. Let's see. Wow, I should have prepared something for this tonight. Let's see. Well, anyway, aluminum wire armatures are pretty much the most basic way of making an armature, and unfortunately right now I can't find a picture. Let me see, what's this? That's replacement mouths. So if I were gonna ask Janet a question, I would ask, what materials do you have first, and take it from there, because there's just so many ways you can start making puppets. And Ron says he met Phil Tippett and he was a really down-to-earth person. That's cool. Yeah, let me see here. I think this, you know, man. Oh, I know where I can find pictures. Okay. It's gonna bug me. I can't find a picture of a simple wire armature. Okay, here we go. Okay. Nope. Sorry to keep you guys waiting. Let's see if I can find one. Okay, well here's a basic armature. And it's not even really in focus. Maybe this is a good one. Here we go. So you can see here, for legs, what I've done is I've taken some aluminum wire and I've made a sort of a small N shape, you know, like you would make the letter N. It's just a little, maybe 8-inch tall puppet. Very short, but probably about average for a stop motion puppet. And the bones are made from an epoxy putty. And the feet are just made from wood. And I made some brass parts because these parts were to be animated a lot. And I put in some lead wire in these parts, which is really great for animation purposes. It holds its position really well. Almost like a ball and socket armature, there's no memory to it. So I've used two kinds of wires, aluminum and lead, and made bones in two different ways. So we have brass tubes for the bones here, and we have the pro epoxy for the legs. And that's pretty much you know, the simplest way you can make an armature. And you can make the entire armature using aluminum wire, and you can just use your epoxy putty to adhere parts together. And then from there you can add clothes, you can add foam rubber for upholstery making over that. I use clay, and you can see here this was a similar armature made from aluminum wire, but this was just for holding up clay to be molded. So this wasn't meant to be animated here, but that's one option, you know, using aluminum wire. What else can I say? So I know I've got more pictures. I'm just trying to find another one. So many pictures. So Jason says he's never handled a ball and socket armature. That is something that you should try one day. That you will be amazed at the difference between ball and socket and wire. Um, it's like a luxury, you know, to use one if you can afford it. But you know, it depends. Like whatever you build, um, for example, Ruble here is all aluminum, and the wire is it's exposed where I have him tied down to his ankles, but my camera wasn't able to see that because of the camera angle. Um, so I had so many different, you know, iterations of Ruble because this one here, I had a special rig where his body can go up and down, and I made this using lead wire, only lead, and then had an attachment point here. So depending on what you're trying to do, you may need to use different types of armatures for your puppets. Is your puppet far away, really far away and small? And if they are, you know, or if your camera doesn't see the legs, like for example with Ruble here, you couldn't see his legs, so I didn't actually make them, you know, I didn't complete them. And Janet says, I love the end credits in Paranorman. They show how they made him. Oh, yeah. Paranorman is an awesome example of awesome puppet making. Let me close all these out here. Yeah, we can bring that up. Let's bring that up. Paranorman. Let's go here. So, Paranorman. And so Ron says, I find the kit armatures are okay, but need a lot of tweaking to make them work. They're also only one size and are often too small for my needs. Yeah, they can be modified. You know, that's the whole purpose of a kit, is to modify it to your needs. Because there's no sort of one size fits all armature kit, unfortunately. Yeah, so here's a cool picture. I wonder if they show just his armature. And there's Justin. He was fun to talk to when we interviewed him all those years back for his film. But I think he's been busy working at Leica. I think he still works there. I think he's working on that Kubo and the 2 strings feature, which I think is still being animated right now. So Jason says, from what I remember of my research that I did into ball and socket a while ago, drilling holes into SS balls was my big obstacle. Yeah, are you trying to drill holes? Are you buying, for example, stainless balls somewhere and trying to drill into them and then put posts in them, or are you trying to make a rig, or what are you trying to do? Because I can show you a technique on how to do that. Pretty simple technique. Let me open up a program real quick, and I guess this will be the last topic for tonight: how to drill stainless steel balls. Let's see if this program works. Okay. And let me put this over here. You guys gotta forgive me because I am not good with this program. This is Autodesk Sketchbook. But okay. Oh, where did my chat go there? Windows is a pain in the butt sometimes. He says, I haven't tried. I was just making plans. Post in balls for armatures. Yeah. Okay. Well, let me see here. All right. I will show you the technique of how to do this and how to do it accurately, because a lot of people try to do this and are unsuccessful and give up. And there are two things to do. First is you want to heat your ball up as hot as you can with a propane torch. This is what I've heard. Now, I don't know if this will work with stainless steel, because I haven't tried it myself. But someone told me once that you heat up the ball as much as you can with a propane torch till it's red or white hot. And then you take that and you take the ball with a pair of pliers and you bury it into some sand. So you can go to a store that sells play sand for kids, and just use that. Pretty much anything that's like that won't burn, that you can insulate the ball and allow it to cool as slowly as possible. Now, David's saying cobalt bits go into SS302 balls, so that's a good hint. So try to get some cobalt drill bits. But once you have your drill bits and you want to drill into your ball, here's a technique that I don't remember who was the one that actually told me this. I think it might have been Tetsu from Japan. I can't remember. Let's see. But basically, you take a piece of aluminum. You get it by an aluminum block that is triangular in shape. Okay. So here it is. So we have a triangle. So it looks like you got like a piece of apple pie or something like that. Same wedge shaped. Then you want to cut that in half. So you have two wedge shapes. Alright, so something like this. And my drawing skills with a mouse are really horrible, but we're going to pretend that these are two identical shaped wedges of aluminum. And I imagine you could do this with a square piece as well, but you want to drill holes in all the corners. Okay. So we have 3 holes. Then what you want to do is you want to tap these holes. Tap. Only on the bottom one, okay? So we got 3 holes. We've tapped them. And the tap that you use is up to you. Depends on the bolts you have. So let's say you have a certain size bolt. Maybe it's M3 or M4 or something like that. Or let's say 1/4 inch, I don't know. So you want to have bolts that can go down through the top. And these holes will be larger holes, okay? So you drill your holes, and then you want to make sure these are slightly larger than the bottom ones so that you can put your bolt. So the bolt has to go through here. And obviously it's threaded, so make sure the threads match your threads in the bottom one, in this bottom piece. So we got 3 of those. And again, this is like the worst sketching job I've ever done. But you've got 3 of these bolts. And these will go down and they can hold these 2 together very straight and precise. And then you want to drill a hole in the center. Alright, and this will go all the way through both of these blocks. And it doesn't have to go all the way through the bottom block, but just enough. And the size of this hole that you make in the center will be where your ball goes, right inside there. And it will get sandwiched in between these 2 blocks. Alright. Yeah, I need to use a tablet for this. I do have a tablet, but it's like just a spur of the moment thing that I'm showing you guys, right? But Now, when you take this, you clamp it down to your drill press, and you put your drill bit, like your cobalt, for example, like Dave was saying. Oh, and he also says heat ball only if it needs to be annealed. Buy SS302 balls from places like McMaster Car, and just drill into them. He says with the cobalt bits. But anyway, so when you clamp these on the ball, basically it holds that ball very firm and it won't spin in there, or it shouldn't spin. You can take your fluid, your oil that you want to use for drilling, and put it down in that hole, and the oil won't go everywhere. It'll pretty much lubricate your drill bit nicely, as opposed to if you just try to put that in a clamp, the ball or something, and then it slips out, and so it holds it in place. Is extra helpful because the lubrication goes where it has to. And but you want to make sure that center hole is maybe half the size of your ball diameter, or even a quarter of it. And then experiment and see how it works. Also, the top plate, you want to make sure your drill bit is not the exact height of this plate. You want to make sure that the drill bit is longer. So you want to base the thickness of this on your drill bit. So something to keep in mind as well. And that's how you basically drill a ball. It's not all that hard. The hard part is probably making the rig, but it makes it so much simpler. You can also, if you're really adventurous and you want to try, you could drill like 2 or 3 holes. Like you could put three separate stainless steel balls in your rig, and they'll probably hold in there pretty strong. But the more balls you add, the weaker it gets. So so Jason says, I've never seen it. Why didn't I think of that? Well, that's the thing, I didn't think of that either. Somebody showed me, and I was like, wow, it makes so much sense, right? All right. So anyway, guys, that does wrap up the show, and this is my really crappy drawing, so whatever, really junky. But thanks for joining tonight. If you guys want to bring up any topics for next week, or you have any questions or comments, just feel free to stop by next Wednesday, and we'll talk again. All right. So see you guys all later.